Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss speed and velocity. And before proceeding to the topics, and this is my small request, please like and subscribe to my channel. Your support is really helpful for the growth of this channel. Let us discuss the topics one by one. In the last class, we discussed distance, displacement, and various types of motion. And in this class, we will discuss speed and velocity. Speed. So, speed. Speed is nothing but distance traveled by time rate. Suppose you are moving in a car A to B. You are moving in a car A to B. Okay. Let us take this distance is around 500 meter, and you are taking a time. Let us take around 20 seconds. Now, what is your speed? Speed is nothing but 500 by 20 meter per second. You have to write out the unit, and that is nothing but 25 meter per second. This you can also write it as 25 meter second raised to minus 1. Okay. Now, what about the average speed? Oh, before that, okay, speed is a scalar quantity. What is easiest to remember that? There is a s here, there is a s here. In scalar also there is a s, in the speed also there is a s. So it's a speed is a scalar quantity, which means it depends. We will take only the magnitude. We don't bother about the direction at all. What is this SI unit? SI unit is meter per second. Okay. Speed for a moving body. For a moving body, what happens to the speed? Speed is always positive. If an object is at rest, what about the speed? The speed is equal to 0. Okay. Okay. Now the average speed. Average speed. Average speed is nothing but total distance by total time. Total distance by total time. And in this case, we have to discuss three cases. We will discuss one by one. Case 1, 2, 3, and all. Average speed, case 1. Covering equal distances with different speeds. Let us take a simple example. A car or any object or anything which is going from A to B, then from B to C. The distance between A to B, let us assume it is D, and the distance between B to C, let us assume it is D. But the first distance it is covering with a speed of V1, second one with a speed of V2. Okay. Now the question is, what is the average speed? So imagine if you are covering equal distance with a different speed. So what is going to change here? So suppose you are going from your home to school, home here to school here. Okay. First day you are going with a speed of, let us assume you are driving uh, your driver is driving with the speed of 50 km per hour. Okay. Second day, the driver is driving with a speed of 100 kilometer per hour. So which day you will reach the school early? Obviously the second case. But the distance between home and the school is same. Isn't it? Yes or no? But the time is different. This simple concept we can apply it here. So when you are covering equal distances with a different speed, the time is going to be different. So we will take it as this time as t1 and this time as t2. Now what is the average speed? Average speed, it is not. Normally people will think average speed is going to be the averages of the individual speed. That is only a one case in that. Okay, not always it is same. Okay, if the equal distances you are covering with a different speed, what will happen? Obviously, it is not this averages, simple average. No, it is not the simple average. So now let us discuss. Total distance. First it is D. Then second part it is also D. What is the total time taken A to B? You will cover with us in a time interval T1. B to C you will cover in a time interval T2. Okay. Now what is the total distance? 2D by T1 plus T2. Now I can write V1 is equal to, speed is nothing but distance by time, and V2 is equal to distance by time. And I can also interchange these two and I will write it as T1 is equal to D by V1. And similarly here T2 is equal to D by V2. Okay. And substitute here. This is 2D by T1, you know it is D by V1, that you write it here. T2 you know it is D by V2, that you substitute it here. Then it is 2D by, what is common here? D is common. D you can take it outside. It will become 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2. This cancel, this cancel. This is 2 by 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2. This is equal to V average. This is nothing but the V average when covering equal distances with a different speed. That is going to be 2 by, take the LCM as V1, V2, and this is going to be, first part is 1 by V1, V1, V2 by V1, it is going to be V2, that V2 you multiply with 1, you will get it as V2. Plus V1, V2 divided by V2, you will get it as V1, that V1 you multiply with 1, you will get it as V1. This, it will go to the numerator. So this, then there you will get it as 2 V1, V2 by V2 plus V1. Okay. So this is the V average. This formula you should remember because so many questions they ask based on this formula. Okay. So when covering two equal distances with a speed of V1 and V2, so what is the average speed? 2 V1 V2 by V2 V1 plus V2 or V2 plus V1. Now, suppose if I'm giving you three equal distances, like this is D with V1 and this is also D with V2 and this is also D with V3. So this is a catch. Okay. Suppose if it's two equal distances, it is nothing but the average speed is nothing but 2 by reciprocal of that V1 and V2 and then add it. That is 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2. Similarly, when it is asking you, what about the three equal distances? It is going to be V average is going to be, how many equal distances are there? Three equal distances are there. So this is going to be 3 by 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2 plus 1 by V3. What is LCM? V1, V2, V3. It is going to be, that is the LCM. So this is going to be 3 by, okay. So LCM of this is going to be V1, V2, V3. Now V1, V2, V3. You take this term V1, divide here, you will get it what V2, V3. So that you will write it here, multiply that with 1 and V2, V3 plus this is going to be LCM is going to be V1, V2, V3. Then V1, V2, V3 whole divided by this part V2. How much is that? It is going to be V1, V3. Then multiply with 1. It is V1, V3 and plus V1, V2, V3 divided by V3. You will get this V1, V2 that you multiply with 1. You will get it as V1, V2. This whole will go to here and this will come as 3V1, V2, V3 by V2, V3 plus V1, V3 plus V1, V2. So this is the V average. Okay. So three equal distances, when it is covering three equal distances with the difference speed, you can do that. In mathematically, we will call this special term. There is a simple term for that. This way of doing this, we will call it as a harmonic mean, and all. This we will call it as a harmonic mean. But you don't want to know much detail about that. So the mathematically, we will call this as a harmonic mean. Next part. Okay. Problems regarding this and all, we will discuss it later. And the next, this is a case one, covering equal distances with a different speeds. So I will repeat it once again. This is D, V1, T1, V2, T2, and okay, then covering equal distances, D plus D by T1 plus T2, and then you can simplify it and you will get this answer. Okay. Now the case number two. Case 2. Okay. Case 2, covering T1 time interval with the speed V1, T2 time interval with the speed V2, and T3 time interval with the speed V3, and so on like that. Okay. Now the question is, what is the average speed? Average speed is nothing but we will know that okay, the distance is going to be S1, this distance is going to be S2, this distance is going to be S3. Okay. Time interval is different and the speed is also different. Obviously, the distance traveled is also different. Good. So what is that? Average speed is nothing but distance traveled is S1 plus S2 plus S3 whole divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3. Okay. And I will get it from here. V1 is equal to S1 by T1 and V2 is equal to S2 by T2 and V3 is equal to S3 by T3. Okay. And from here S1 is equal to cross multiply, we'll get it as V1 T1. S2 is equal to V2 T3. Sorry, V2 T2. And S3 is equal to V3 T3. Okay. That you substitute here, you will get it as V1 T1 plus V2 T2 plus V3 T3 whole divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3. Okay. This is your case number 2, covering distances and velocity, time, all those terms are different. Okay. So okay. Next, case 3, covering the same time interval. Time interval is same. Interval same. What is the meaning that I will take a case of simple case T T. This one you can get it from here, but I'm not going to according to that method. I will do it from here itself. So obviously what will happen, they're covering the first time interval with the speed v1, second time interval with the speed v2. So what is the meaning of that? First 1 hour you are traveling in a car, let us assume you are traveling in a car of 50. First 1 hour you are traveling with a speed of 50 kilometer per hour. Second 1 hour you are traveling with a speed of 20 kilometer per hour. Or sorry, 100 kilometer per hour. You increase the speed, isn't it? So they were asking what is the average speed in that case. So the average speed, again we can go with our conventional method. The average speed is nothing but total distance right time taken. Here the v1 is equal to, let us assume this is going to be s1 and this is going to be s2 and this is going to be s1 by t, and here this is v2 is equal to s2 by t, and s1 is going to be v1t, and s2 is going to be v2t. Okay, so v average is nothing but s1 plus s2 by t plus t. Okay, and that, what is t plus t? T plus t is going to be 2t, that is equal to s1 plus s2 by 2t. So what is s1? S1 is nothing but v1t. So this is going to be v1t plus s2 is going to be v2t. So this is going to be v2t plus v2t whole divided by 2t. So what is it? This is going to be v1 plus v2. You multiply with the 2t into t. So t cancels, t cancels. So this is going to be v average. Okay. So v average is equal to v1 plus v2 by 2. Now, what is this? It is nothing but the averages of two numbers. Okay. So when you are covering equal time interval, then you can go with the simple average. Okay. Not always you can use a simple average. Okay. When you are covering, suppose if you are covering three equal time intervals t, t, and t with speed v1, v2, and v3. Now what is a v average? V average is nothing but v1 plus v2 plus v3, v1 plus v2 plus v3 whole divided by 3. Okay. So three cases we discussed, and I hope it is clear. If it is not clear, please pause the video and watch this lecture once again. Then it will be clear to you. Okay. Next, it is going to be instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed. Okay. What do you mean by instantaneous speed? Instant. At a particular instant, what is the speed? Average speed, you will take a time interval and then calculate it. You will find the total. But in this case, you are not doing that. You are finding the at a particular instant of time, what is the speed? Now, what is a way to do that? For that, you will take the a time interval. Let us take this is time t, and you assume that this you are covering a distance of s. Okay. Now I want to reduce this time interval as small as possible. So that is, can I make it as a zero? No, that is impossible. Okay. But I will try to reduce as small as possible, which means that it is going to zero, but it won't become zero. Okay. That we will call it as a tends to zero. Okay. So the t, it will tends to zero like this. Okay. But when it is we are reducing this time interval as small as possible, so which means I will reduce this time interval, I will reduce it as small as possible. How can you do that? This one, I will cover This is this. That's a reducing until I can take a small time interval like that. Initially, I have a this much gap, so this one I will reduce like this, and then till I will reach a small time interval. What is this time interval? In a mathematical, we'll call this as delta t, which means assume it is going to be a small interval. Similarly, the distance covered at that time, it is going to be small distance, delta x. Okay. Now, how can you find the speed at that time, average speed at that time? Here, this is delta x by delta t. Okay, delta t. This mathematically, again, which means what? I am limiting this one, limiting for to find the instantaneous speed. You are finding the speed at a particular instant, which means at a particular instant. At a particular instant, you are finding the speed. Speed at a particular instant. Okay. So which means I have to reduce this time interval as small as possible, which means reducing means it will approaching zero. Now mathematically how we can write it, this is the way to write it. Limit LT stands for limit delta t tends to zero. Okay. This mathematically we will call it as a d by dt of this x. Oh, sorry, here I made the notation as s, so I will take this as s itself. I'll take this as s. Here also. Okay. d by dt of s. What is it? Limit delta t tends to 0, delta s by delta t. Okay. Mathematically, you should know that if y or is equal to x to the power of n. Now differentiate with respect to t. How can you do that? Differentiate with respect to t. I will write it as dy by dx, or differentiate with respect to y, x. D by dx is equal to n into x to the power of n minus 1. Suppose the example y is equal to x cube. What is dy by dx? The question is this. I can write it as d by dx of x cube. This is nothing but d by dx of x to the power of n is equal to nx raised to n minus 1. This is going to be 3 times x raised to 3 minus 1. This is going to be 3x squared. Okay. Suppose the expression they will write it as y is equal to t plus tq t squared plus t. What is dy by dt? Okay. This is dy by dt. dy by dt is equal to d by dt of t plus t squared plus, I will take this as t cube plus t cube. So okay, individually you can do the differentiation d by dt of t plus d by dt of t square plus d by dt of t cube. This t power is 1. Okay, this is 1 into t raised to 1 minus 1 plus 2 into t raised to 2 minus 1 plus 3 into t raised to 3 minus 1. This is equal to 1 into t to the power of 0 plus 2t plus 3t square. This is equal to 1. T to the power of 0. Any number raised to 0 is equal to 1. This is 1 into 1. That is going to be 1. Plus 2t plus 3t square. Okay. That is about the instantaneous speed. Suppose the same question. This is speed. I am giving you the. Let us assume randomly we will take a question. Question 1. The distance covered by an object, or let us take a distance covered by Ammavan. Okay. I made the channel's name as Ammavan. Okay. Ammavan is given by this expression. Okay. Distance S is equal to t cube minus this is let us take this as 4t cube minus 3t square plus 5t. Now the question is, find the speed at t is equal to 2 seconds. So when they were asking for the speed at 2 seconds, what exactly they were trying to ask? They were trying to ask the speed at a particular instant. What is that particular instant? 2 seconds. So they were asking you they are not asking you what is the instantaneous speed. They were asking you what is the speed at 2 seconds. You should understand that it is nothing but they were asking for the instantaneous speed. Pause this video, try by yourself, and then only come back and then answer this question. Let us try to answer this. Given is distance covered S is equal to 4t cube minus 3t square plus 5t. Okay. Now differentiate it. ds by dt, that is equal to what? 4 into d by dt of t cube minus 3 into d by dt of t square plus 5 into d by dt of t. This is nothing but 4 into d by dx of point. Please note down d by dx of x to the power of n is equal to n into x raised to n minus 1. Okay. Here the variable instead of x, it is going to be t. That is the difference. Okay. 4 into 3 into t minus 3 minus 1 minus 3 into 2 into t raised to 2 minus 1 plus 5. Okay. Okay. That is going to be 4 into 3 is how much? 12. 12 into t, 3 minus 2 is 2. Minus 3 into 2 is how much? 6. 2 minus 1 is how much? 6. T plus 5. Now, this is your speed. Okay. ds by dt. This is your speed. Okay. This is your speed. Okay. But they were asking you speed at t is equal to 2 seconds. So what you have to do now? You have to substitute 2 seconds in this expression. So this is going to be ds by dt. That is going to be 12 into t square is going to be 2 square minus 6 into 2 plus 5. This is going to be 12 into 4 minus 12 plus 5. How much is that? This is going to be 12 into 4 is how much? 48 minus 12 plus 5. This is going to be how much is that? 6, and this is 36. 36 plus 5, 36 plus 4 is 40. This is 41 meter per second. See, this is a way to solve this problem. Okay. Let us solve one more problem. Let us solve one more problem. Okay. Ammavan is going from his home to office. Okay, this is the question. Okay. Ammavan, what is the number? The number is going to be how much is that? This is the first problem, I think so. This number, this is the second number, second problem. Okay. Any calculation mistake? Please note down if there any calculation mistake and please, if I am making any mistakes and all, please comment. Please write in the comment box. Okay. So this is going to be t is equal to, okay, this is question number one, and let us go with the question number two. Question number two. This is question number two. Okay. So Ammavan, let us take this same name, Ammavan, going from his going from house to office with a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. While returning, he is Ammavan is traveling with a speed, or Ammavan is going with a speed 40 kilometers per hour. Question: what is the average speed? What is the average speed? Pause this video, try by yourself, and then I will help you to solve this. This is a very common question. Okay? This is a very common question, and very easily you can answer it without pen and paper, without calculation, with your just mind game. Because these values, they asked in so many exams they asked. Okay, 60, 40. Okay, going with a speed of 60, or going with a speed of 40, or coming back with a speed of 40, or coming back with these type of questions are very common. Okay, what is the easiest way? Because this we already discussed from our average speed case. There are three cases. This is your case of first one, because distance is fixed and then you are coming back with some speed. Distance is fixed. Okay, so this exactly I can write it in this way: home to office and then office to home. So what exactly is happening here? The distance is fixed here. Okay, this distance is fixed. So first one you are going with a speed of 60 kilometer per hour, and second one you are going with a speed of 40 kilometer per hour. That case you already discussed. We already discussed that. Okay. So what is that? 2v1 v2 by. So I will take this as v1 and this as v2. So what is the average speed? Average speed is nothing but 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. Okay. So this is nothing but 2 into 60 into 40 by 60 into 40 by 60 plus 40. That is going to be how much? 2 12 is 4. This is going to be 2 into 60 into 40 by 100. Okay. This cancel, this cancel, this cancel, this cancel. This is 12. 12 into 4 is 48 kilometer per hour. Okay. So what is the other way? Suppose you don't know this formula, then how can you solve this? Go with the traditional approach. Okay, what is that average speed? Total distance by total time taken. Go with the traditional approach, then you will get the answer. Okay, suppose this is our method one. If you know the formula, then you can do that. If this is the method, going from home to office, isn't it? Yes or no? Going from home to office, you are going with a speed of 60 kilometer per hour, and coming back again here, or 40 kilometer per hour. 40 kilometer per hour. Going with a speed of okay. Okay. Going with a speed of 60 kilometer per hour and coming back with a speed of 40 kilometer per hour. That is how much? Okay. d and plus d divided by time taken t1 plus t2. Okay. Why I am discussing in this way? So that it will be easy for you to solve it, even if you didn't know the formula. Okay. This is 2d by this distance. I can write t1 as distance d by 60. I can write this as d by 60 plus d by 40. This d cancel. This is 2 into 60 into 40 by okay. That is going to be how much? 48 kilometer per hour. Okay, using these two methods, you will be able to solve this. Okay. Uh, I hope this is clear. Next, let me check whether we can discuss one more problem. Yeah, this is a very good problem, and we will discuss it. Okay. Okay. Question. I will write down the question. Amman is going. Amman is going from. Let us this time I will go take the is as A to B, A to B, or Amman. Just 1 minute. Let me write it. The question is Amman is covering half of the distance with a speed v1. The remaining part of the distance was covered with a v1 for half of the time and with a speed v2 for other half of the time. Find the average speed. See, pause this video, try by yourself, and then you come and look at the solutions. Okay. Try it for at least try for at least 5 to 6 minutes, and still if you are not getting, then you come back and look at the solutions. Okay. But even if you are not getting this problem, it's okay. You will get a hang of it at later on. I will solve it. Initially, when I was also solving the same problem, it was very difficult, but later it was easy. This, let us read this question carefully. Ammavan is covering half of the distance. Ammavan is covering half of the distance. Let us assume the first half it is as D and second half as D. D. This is also D. Okay. So half of the distance with a speed v1 and the remaining part of the distance. Suppose the second half, the total time taken, let us assume it's as t. Half of that, t by 2, t by 2. Okay. Let us assume the second part, it is covering with a time, it is total time in interval for the second part. Let us assume it is t. Half of this time, what is half of this time? T by 2. Isn't it? Yes or no? So half of this time, it is going to be T by 2. with a speed v1. Next half of the time, it is again another t by 2, another t by 2 with a speed v2. Is this merging of two cases which already discussed, covering equal distances with different speeds and covering equal time interval with different speeds? Isn't it? Yes or no? So this is going to be second case covering equal time interval with a different speed. So what is the V average in this case? It is nothing but V1 plus V2 by covering equal time interval means two equal time intervals. So what will happen? Averages of the individual speed. Next part. So next part. So first half of the distance you are covering with a speed d. This again I can write the same problem. First half you are covering with a speed v1. Another half of the distance you are covering with a speed, this speed, v1 plus v2 by 2. Now average speed. Okay. What is that? 2v1 into second speed. 2v1 into the second speed, v1 plus v2 by 2, whole divided by v1 plus by 2. Okay. Now this much is the physics. Okay. Now here comes the calculation part. Okay. So calculation part we will do it. I will cancel this one. These two things I will cancel it. So I will get it as v1 into v1 plus v2. So how can you write that? Okay. v1 into v1 plus v2 whole by v1 into v1 plus v2 divided by this. Oh my god. v1 plus v2 by 2. Okay. v1 plus v2 by 2. Okay. This is simplification, v1 into v1 plus v2 whole divided by, you take the LCM as 2, this is going to be 2v1 plus v2, and this will go here. This is going to be 2v1 into v1 plus v2 by 2v1 plus sorry, I made a mistake here. Let us assume this is going to be v1. Okay. Oh my god. Let us change this to v2. Okay. Let us change this to v2. Second half of the distance with v2, and this is going to be v3. Oh my god. This is going to be v3. Oh, let us solve this problem once again. Sorry guys. Let us solve this problem once again. Okay, sorry guys, I made a little mistake while writing the variable name, and this question we will discuss. First half of the distance with v1, and remaining another, let us assume the time interval is t, and this is going to be This is going to be how much? It is going to be t by 2 with a speed v2 and another t by 2 with a speed v3. This is v2 and then it is v3. This is v2 and this is v3. Okay. This is equal time interval case. So what is the average speed in this case? It is going to be v2 plus v3 by 2. Okay. This is going to be v2 plus v3 by 2. So covering equal half of the distance time with a speed v2, first half interval with a speed v2, second half interval with a speed v3. So it is going to be equal time interval case. Okay, so that is going to be v2 plus. So in the earlier case, I made this as v2 instead of this is also v1, this is also v1. That was a mistake which I made. Sorry for that. Now remaining the method and everything remains the same. Okay, method and everything remains the same. So next part, it is going to be first equal time interval, equal distance with a speed this is d, this is also d, this is v1, this is going to be v2 plus v3 by 2. Now find the average speed. Okay, average speed is going to be 2. Average speed is going to be 2 v1 into v2 plus v3 by 2. Whole divided by v1 plus v2 plus v1 by v2 plus v3 by 2. Simplify this. Two cancel. So v1 into v2 plus v3 whole divided by v1 plus v2 plus v3 by 2. So this is going to be v1 into v2 plus v3 whole divided by 2 v1 plus v2 plus v3 whole by 2. Okay. This is going to be 2. This 2 will go here and this is going to be 2 v1 into v2 plus v3 whole divided by 2 v1 plus v2 plus v3. That is going to be v average. Okay. So this is a problem. Sorry guys, I made a small mistake, a variable mistake I made. Okay. So please solve this problem once again. Okay. Amavan is covering half the distance with a speed v1 and the remaining part of the distance was covered with a v2 for half the time and with the speed v2 for other half of the time. Find the average speed. This is a merging of two cases which we already discussed. First case, the distance is same. Second case, the time interval is same. And then we are merging these two cases together. Okay, rather than taking it one problem, it's a merging of two cases and then finding the average speed. I hope so. This is today. It's going to be little lengthy lecture, but next class we will discuss. Where we will continue with the velocity and all. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding this and all, please write in the comment box. I will clarify in the next class. I will clarify. Okay, thank you. And also one small request, please like and subscribe
to this channel and share it with your friends and others who are preparing for competitive exams and all. Okay. Thank you very much.